And now, ladies and gentlemen, the President of our Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And still standing, let us receive the blessings of God delivered to us from our brother, Mr. Andrew Amekson.
Shall we please bow down our heads for prayer? Everlasting Father, the creator of the heavens and the earth, the holder of our lives and the commander-in-chief of the armies of God, Jesus Christ is your name. This morning we bow before thee and worship you. Father, we thank you for giving us a day like this. For this is a day you have made, that we should rejoice and be glad in it. That we come before you and lift up this very important program into your holy hands. Jesus, we know that you are the determinant of all things, and this nation, Ghana, is in your hands. We commit the totality of the program launch into your holy hands, Lord. We pray for your presence. We pray for your direction. We pray for your spirit to brew over us, my God. As we launch this program today, let it be a turning point to our SMEs in this country. We also pray that your presence will guide and direct this nation, that everything that we desire to do to your glory shall be successful. We commit everyone here into your holy hands. We pray lifting the president of the nation into the blood of Jesus. Lord, you have taken him through all these years, and he is here with us today to launch this very important program. We pray that as his hands touches it, so shall it be blessed. Let everything that we do here be unto your glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated, and many thanks to you, Mr. Andrew Amekson, the head of banking and non-banking units at the Ministry of Finance. And now a spot of music from the Ghana Police Band. Thank you very much, the Ghana Police Band. If I may borrow from the good book, the Holy Bible, let me say, now abided these three for SME growth in Ghana: access to skills and knowledge, access to markets, but most importantly, access to funding. But today, thanks to the SME Growth and Opportunity Summit and Fund, we break the barriers of SME growth with a focus on developing a sustainable financing framework that allows for both the public and the private sector to scale up financial and technical support towards Ghana's small, medium enterprises as the backbone of our economy. My name is Jerry Edemajololo, and on behalf of the Ministry of Finance, in collaboration with the Ministry of Trade, I welcome you, Mr. President, a champion of SME businesses in Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the Minister for Finance, the Honorable Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam MP, the Minister for Trade and Industry, the Honorable K.T. Hammond, the Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance, the Honorable Abna Osei Asare MP, the Minister for Works and Housing, the Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah MP, the Deputy Minister for Finance, the Honorable Dr. Alex Ampabing, the Deputy Minister for Trade, the Honorable Mike Befi MP, the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, the Deputy Governor of the Second Deputy Governor, of the Bank of Ghana, Mrs. Elsie Ado Awaji, the Senior IFC Country Manager, Mr. Kyle Kelhofer, the Senior Vice President of the AFDB, Mr. Solomon Queno, representing the President, the Country Director for the World Bank, Mr. Roberto Telieso O'Brien, the Country Directors of the GIZ and IFAD, the President of the AGI, Dr. Humphrey Ayimdake, Chief Executives and Directors of Ministries, Departments, and Agencies, executives from the private sector and trade associations, distinguished guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this momentous day in the life of SMEs in Ghana. We begin today with a formal word of welcome from a woman who is well acquainted with the SME sector, given her great role she played as Deputy Minister, now culminating in her elevation as the Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance. Make welcome the Honorable Abna Osei Asare, MP.
His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, Minister for Finance, Honorable K.T. Hammond, Minister for Trade and Industry, Honorable Ministers present, Honorable Deputy Ministers present, His Excellency Solomon Queno, the Vice President of the African Development Bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, Governor of Bank of Ghana, Mrs. Elsie Awaji, Second Deputy Governor of Bank of Ghana, Dr. Humphrey Kwesi Ayimdake, President, Association of Ghana Industries, Mr. Kyle Kelhofer, IFC Senior Country Manager, members of the Diplomatic Corps, business and financial sector leaders, Chief Director and Directors from the various ministries, friends from the media, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Government of Ghana, I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to everyone at the launch of the SME Growth and Opportunity Initiative. Together, we gather to strengthen the backbone of our economy, small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs. These dynamic businesses are the lifeblood of job creation and economic growth. Driving a resilient national and regional economy, it is noteworthy that 60% of Africans work for an SME, and this sector is responsible for creating 80% of new jobs. Over the past 4 decades, rapid economic growth has catapulted several Asian countries to the forefront of global economic leadership. SMEs played a pivotal role in this growth, especially in reviving these economies after the 1997-1998 Asian financial crisis and the 2008-2009 global financial crisis. They fostered interregional trade and stimulated domestic demand. I dare say that the parallels are clear. Ghana shares a similar context and potential. Our economy, though recently hit hard by multiple crises, stands poised to benefit immensely from Pan-African trade through the African Continental Free Trade Area, the world's largest free trade area. Prioritizing SME development in Ghana is crucial. Since June 2023, the government has engaged the private sector and key stakeholders as part of its enhanced growth strategy under the post-COVID-19 Program for Economic Recovery, PCPEG. We have consulted extensively while preparing the 2023 mid-year budget and the 2024 annual budget. Through the Ghana Mutual Prosperity Partnerships Framework, we met with business leaders. In May, we also convened with industry captains in Labadi, Accra, to delve deeper into the business environment. Distinguished guests, the resounding feedback from all these consultations is clear. For SMEs to thrive in Ghana and boldly venture into the Pan-African market, we must dismantle the barriers to their growth. SMEs face significant challenges, particularly with access to finance, a situation worsened by recent crisis. Many SMEs grapple with weakened financial conditions due to a drop in demand for goods and services, rising production costs, and increased cost of living. Skills gaps are widening, access to technology and digital infrastructure is limited, and regulatory constraints and bureaucratic red tape persist. These barriers are real and complex, but we believe they are breakable. We are here to challenge the status quo and tear down these barriers. Our engagements confirm that SMEs are diverse, require flexible and varied financing and technical support to meet their evolving needs. This is consistent with the lessons from our previous efforts prior to the crisis. During the period, we implemented some strategic interventions that enabled SMEs to power economic growth to about 7% annually. Ladies and gentlemen, the conclusion is that breaking the barriers impeding SMEs in Ghana requires a new level of intentionality, focused on building champions and systems within a robust ecosystem. This initiative forms the foundation of the SME Growth and Opportunities Initiative. Our goal is to address challenges and provide a framework for SMEs in Ghana to thrive. We aim to connect them with resources, expertise, and opportunities to scale up, expand their reach, and increase their competitiveness. Specifically, we will work together with our partners to, one, provide access to capital and financial services, foster innovation and digital transformation, enhance market access and trade opportunities, build capacity and skills development, and lastly, create a supportive ecosystem by easing regulatory burden for SME growth. This initiative reflects the government's strong commitment to empowering SMEs and unlocking their full potential. We recognize the power of partnerships in breaking barriers. The diverse public institutions and key private sector players and development partners involved in designing this initiative reflect a whole of society response to critical challenges. Today, we will hear diverse perspectives from various stakeholders, unified in the chorus for SME development. This unity must guide our steps as we roll out this important initiative led by data and best practices. Together, let us create a vibrant and inclusive economy that benefits all. To our businesses seeking genuine support, we encourage you to step forward. With the SME Go initiative, we say, we've got your back. Step forward to grow and expand. Step out of Ghana and proudly fly the Ghana flag on the African and global stage. Grow and go, because we've got your back. Thank you very much, and once again, welcome to the SME Go initiative launch. God bless us all.
The Honorable Abna Osei Sari MP is the Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance. Please, another round of applause. Thank you, ma'am. Interesting punchlines from her submission. We're here to challenge the status quo and break barriers. But what got me particularly was the touch on partnerships in breaking barriers, for which reason, Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me to acknowledge the partners who have come on board to make this summit a reality. The Exim Bank Ghana is here represented by the CEO and the board chair. Make welcome Mr. Lawrence Ajinsam and Mr. Boate Jenfi. Thank you for joining us. We make welcome from the Development Bank Ghana, the CEO, Mr. Kwamina Duka. Thank you very much. Help me acknowledge, ladies and gentlemen, the Ghana Enterprises Agency and the CEO, Mrs. Kosi Yankee Ayer. Thank you. In moving on, we'd like to have an understanding on SMEs in Ghana. For the next few minutes, please lend your attention to the screen. I'll see you shortly.
We became a household name because of the One District, One Factory. We supported and financed almost about 50. We became a household name because of the One District, One Factory. We supported and financed almost about 50% of the One District, One Factory across the country, which primarily was the vision of the President Nana Akufo-Addo to industrialize Ghana. And with this, we look at the whole value chain from raw material to adding value and also making sure that we export all these products that we are doing.
In the design of the Ghana Enterprises Agency Act, it was clear the mandate of the institution was to build, strengthen, and grow MSMEs in Ghana. One of the ways of doing that was providing business development support, technical assistance, financial and non-financial resources and support to MSMEs. One of the things that have stood out clearly is the importance of access to funding. And in that same act, it spells out the need to set up an MSME fund that would build MSMEs in Ghana.
We then selected 10 key focus areas to look at, which we thought would be more of growth pools that would help the country in terms of exports. So pharmaceuticals was taken as one, cocoa and its added value was also one of the focus areas that we were looking at. We were looking at import substitution products. So for instance, poultry that we import quite a lot of, shea butter, cashew, the fruit juices or the fruits, cassava, these became some of the end garments.
I represent the Association of Ghana Apparel Manufacturers. We do industrial production of garments, apparels, textiles, and related products in the value chain. When you look at the market leaders in our industry internationally, they have had complete and full support from the government. Policies that we call in our industry plug and play. Our textile and garment was the lead a couple of years ago. Just the past 2 or 3 years, Benin is seriously competing and nearly overtaken Ghana in this industry. And I believe that if we put our act together with much more support from our supporting agency, we would be able to write a different story that we'll all be proud when we look back down the years.
Jute Mills Ghana Limited is a wholly owned Ghanaian company set up basically to produce food grade jute sacks to feed the cocoa industry.
We realize that if we talk about access to markets and we're not giving these businesses regulatory support where they can actually access markets because they have the right certification, then we're doing them a huge disservice. So we partnered with the Food and Drugs Authority under the Progressive Licensing Scheme to ensure that there was actually a graduation process for businesses, be it small businesses, micro businesses, to graduate but have access to certification that gives them access to markets.
We want to make a passionate appeal, so that if funding could be made available to support the communities that have been identified, in the middle belt and then in the northern sectors, we can build the capacities of the local industries, by way of training, so that in course of time we will not need to rely on external expertise to be able to run the factory as is currently happening.
For us as an institution set up to focus on entrepreneurship, our goal and focus is to see how best we can get more youth to go into entrepreneurship. Not only them, but anybody else. But we've targeted that by designing interventions that focus on the youth. We provided them with entrepreneurship training support, with various business development support, a whole lot of things that we believe will strongly set them in the right path for success.
Getting their growth. Talking of institutions and getting the growth of SMEs, in their own way, they've done so much to induce a lot of SME participation in our economy by way of investment, local investments. Help me salute the GIPC and the CEO, Mr. Yofi Grants. A round of applause. Thank you very much for joining us. In moving on, we would like to hear from the Bank of Ghana on the measures they put in place to overcoming the challenges of SME financing, the role of regulation. Make welcome the Governor, Dr. Ernest Addison.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the Senior Vice President of the African Development Bank for Finance and Private Sector, Mr. Solomon Queno, the Minister of Finance, Honorable Amin Adam, the Minister of Trade, Honorable K.T. Hammond, Minister of Housing, Honorable Kojo Pong Nkrumah, Honorable Ministers present, Second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Chief Executive Officers of financial institutions, Captains of Industry, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to share a few thoughts on this topical issue of overcoming the challenges of SME financing, and particularly the role of regulation. Small and medium enterprises constitute the core economic base of most countries. Their contribution to economic growth, employment generation, and poverty reduction are widely recognized in both developed and developing countries. I am therefore encouraged that the government of Ghana has brought stakeholders together to discuss SME growth and opportunity. I hope that this platform will provide the much-needed base for knowledge sharing and networking among CEOs of SMEs. In my remarks today, I will first touch on the recent developments in the Ghanaian economy, particularly the shocks that have impacted the economy over the last 4 years. I will also discuss steps the government and the Bank of Ghana has taken to mitigate the impact of these shocks on the economy, particularly on the SME subsector, and share some emerging signs of stabilization and recovery that is taking hold. I will then, in turn, turn my attention to other structural reforms the Bank of Ghana has implemented in recent years to support the SME subsector. Mr. President, over the past 4 years, Ghana has been impacted by multiple shocks that has greatly impacted all facets of economic life, including the operations of the SME sector. The COVID-19 pandemic particularly presented both demand and supply shocks to the domestic economy. As you all would recall, some businesses collapsed, while those that survived had to endure lower sales due to mobility restrictions, additional costs to protect their staff and customers. SMEs suffered the most during the COVID-19 pandemic crisis. The large SME sector of the economy that in the past used to provide cushion to such shocks this time around amplified the shocks as the lockdowns brought a halt to their activities. Government, therefore, in close coordination with other stakeholders, implemented policy interventions to limit the impact of the crisis on the SME sector and the broader economy. As part of the intervention measures introduced by the government to support the SME sector, included an emergency preparedness and response plan valued at about 560 million Ghana cedis at the time. The alleviation to the SMEs Fund, the National Electricity and Water Bills Relief, as well as the creation of the National Buffer Stock Company. To complement government's measures, the Bank of Ghana announced a series of policy and regulatory measures to loosen financing conditions, ease liquidity pressures, and keep credit flowing to support critical sectors of the economy. You would recall that the Bank of Ghana lowered the policy rate by 150 basis points to 14.5% in March 2020, and worked with commercial banks to transmit the same to ensure the decline of lending rates. The bank also reduced reserve requirements to 8% to increase liquidity in the banking system. The bank reduced the capital conservation buffer of banks by 1.5 percentage points, in effect reducing capital adequacy requirements from 13 to 11.5%. Provisioning requirements for the spectrum of loan categories was also reduced from 10 to 5%, which helped to ease liquidity conditions and provided capital relief to banks. The bank also urged commercial banks to provide a 6-month moratorium on principal repayments on loans from customers in the worst-hit sectors of the economy. In order to encourage the use of digital forms of payments, the bank agreed with the mobile money operators to the elimination of transaction fees on mobile money transfers of up to 100 cedis and the revision of transaction limits upwards to further promote the use of digital solutions. The Bank of Ghana again issued several notices to guide banks and SDIs on the utilization of capital and liquidity releases, as well as to ensure business continuity. Distinguished guests, these interventions from the Bank of Ghana and the government helped Ghana to come out of the COVID stronger and continue to record growth during the peak of the COVID pandemic, unlike what happened in other jurisdictions. Ladies and gentlemen, the economic and policy environment globally changed considerably with the Russia-Ukraine crisis and the higher oil and food prices in 2022. This was followed by the synchronous policy tightening across the globe to contain rapid increase in inflation, as well as weak external demand related to monetary policy tightening and economic slowdown in major economies. As we are all aware, these shocks amplified pre-existing fiscal and debt vulnerabilities, resulting in a rapid increase in inflation, sharp depreciation of the exchange rate, and led to a balance of payments crisis. The government of Ghana therefore sought the support of the IMF to restore macroeconomic stability and implement wide-ranging structural reforms to rebuild resilience and lay the foundations for a stronger and more resilient growth. The government started implementing an ambitious fiscal consolidation and debt sustainability program. So far, the debt domestic exchange program has ended, whilst the external debt restructuring program is also almost concluded. Apart from addressing the challenging macroeconomic environment, the government also committed under the program to addressing gaps in governance and anti-corruption frameworks to enhance accountability and integrity, whilst promoting inclusive growth through improving the business environment, enhancing export competitiveness and integration, strengthening Ghana's FDI attractiveness, streamlining sectoral and industrial policies, improving access to finance, promoting entrepreneurship while upskilling labor force to help address skills mismatches, as well as advancing the digitalization agenda for financial inclusion. On its part, the Bank of Ghana has stepped up efforts to bring inflation under control, eliminate monetary financing of the budget, and rebuild foreign currency buffers. The bank is also taking steps to implement comprehensive strategy to rebuilding the capital buffers of financial institutions post-DDEP. Distinguished guests, these measures are beginning to yield positive results. Signs of stabilization and recovery in the Ghanaian economy are emerging. Real GDP growth ended 2023 at 2.9%, above the revised target of 2.3%. In the first quarter of this year, GDP growth has come out stronger than expected at 4.7%. Inflation, which peaked at 54.1% in December 2022, has decelerated faster than expected and reached 22.8% in June 2024. Fiscal policy implementation has been broadly aligned with requirements under the IMF-supported program. The banking sector's performance has improved as adverse spillovers from the DDEP and macroeconomic challenges receded. The banking sector remained stable, liquid, and profitable. Significant profits were recorded in 2023, helping to correct losses from 2022. While banks impacted by the DDEP have submitted capital restoration plans, which are being implemented. Gross international reserves position has improved, with the level of reserves increased to about 6.59 billion, representing 3 months of import cover as at the end of April. The exchange rate, which recently came under some pressure, has begun to stabilize as uncertainty surrounding the progress of debt restructuring negotiations with external creditors had been eliminated, and the Bank of Ghana's gold purchase program has overperformed. Just last week, the country successfully went through the completion of the second review of the IMF program by the IMF board. The board reaffirmed a generally strong program performance with clear signs of emerging economic stabilization. However, noting substantial downside, external and domestic risks, they underscored the importance of steadfast reform implementation to entrench stability and debt sustainability while fostering sustained growth and poverty reduction. Sustaining macroeconomic stability requires the Bank of Ghana to continue to ensure that the bank keeps an eye on inflation. When inflation declines to comfortable levels and interest rates begin to decline, demand and supply for SME loans will pick up and will be a key driving force to support growth. Let me add that in the light of the importance of the SME sector, the Bank of Ghana has commissioned the study in collaboration with the Development Bank of Ghana and the University of Ghana Business School to better understand the constraints of SMEs to formulate targeted policies to ensure growth. The objective of the study is, among others, to ascertain the economy's SME credit demand needs, the supply of liquidity by these SMEs, and how fintechs could be leveraged to scale up lending by the SMEs. Last week, the University of Ghana presented preliminary findings of the research work based on over 500 SMEs surveyed, results of which have shed light on some of the burning issues of the industry. I am positive that the current positive developments in the economy, together with the survey findings, when implemented effectively together with the sustained improvements in the overall macroeconomic conditions, should benefit the SME sector in the long run. Mr. President, the prospects of SMEs enormous economic growth potential can only be realized if all stakeholders maintain a steadfast commitment to explore innovative policy mechanisms that can enhance the sector's output. In line with this, the Bank of Ghana continues to leverage its mandate to improve the payments ecosystem with modern policy tools, such as the regulatory sandbox. The introduction of the innovative regulatory sandbox has helped to implement policy initiatives that enhance digitalized financial services and fosters economic inclusion for Ghanaian SMEs in collaboration with key stakeholders. One such initiative is the Ghana Integrated Financial Ecosystem, launched in June 2022 under the broader Business Samboda initiative in partnership with the Monetary Authority of Singapore and the Development Bank Ghana. This initiative started when we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Singaporean counterpart to implement a technology-enabled SME project. As the name suggests, BSB is an intelligent global digital hub and connector of platforms of businesses in Asia and beyond to Ghanaian SMEs and financial institutions. The Business Samboda program is designed to enable domestic electronic commerce platforms and SME users access to diversified trade opportunities, as well as critical quality ecosystem facilities, such as finance, accounting, and business referrals, among others. The Business Samboda program also includes a global innovation hub to help fintech companies develop additional innovation services and products. The GIFE is a comprehensive financial development program that provides SMEs with financial and digital literacy training, as well as offers the opportunity for SMEs to obtain trusted digital credentials, enhancing their access to financial services and cross-border trade connectivity. In essence, the program seeks to adequately prepare local SMEs with the requisite skills, tools, and endorsements to make them trusted and capable participants in the international trade arena. Currently, undergoing testing in the Bank of Ghana's regulatory sandbox, this model has facilitated 8 million cedis in collateral-free loans to 20 Ghanaian SMEs. As the initiative expands, more partner financial institutions are expected to join, offering additional credit facilities to Ghanaian SMEs. While still in its early stages, the GIFE initiative shows a promising potential to significantly alleviate SME financing challenges and highlights the transformative power of collaborative efforts of regulators and the private sector, leveraging innovative fintech solutions in overcoming financing challenges of SMEs. Distinguished guests, the initial success of GIFE has catalyzed the evolution of the universal trusted credential concept, which has now been adopted by the United Nations Development Programme. This open global initiative aims to enhance access to financing for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in emerging markets. Another promising initiative that the bank is currently testing in the regulatory sandbox is SOLVE, promoted by the Standard Chartered Bank. SOLVE is a digital business-to-business marketplace for MSMEs. The marketplace seamlessly facilitates access to a comprehensive suite of financial services such as collateral-free invoice financing, business installment loans, buy now, pay later, and others from multiple licensed financial institutions to enhance access to cheaper and efficient credit. Similarly, the bank is supporting and facilitating other SME-focused innovative initiatives by other financial institutions. Let me use this opportunity to encourage other sector players to join in the efforts to develop SME-focused initiatives in furtherance of our shared objective of promoting economic growth and development. Whilst Ghana boasts numerous SME initiatives aimed at driving growth and fostering entrepreneurship, the fragmented nature of the initiatives often hinders their collective impact. This needs to be addressed through enhanced collaboration to streamline resources, simplify access for SMEs, harmonize policies, and ultimately maximize the effectiveness of SME support mechanisms across the country. By fostering such coordination, Ghana can create a more cohesive and supportive environment for SMEs to thrive, contributing significantly to sustainable economic development and job creation. On this note, let me commend the government for organizing this summit and assure all stakeholders that the Bank of Ghana stands ready to support this initiative with sound regulation and efficient supervisory policies. As discussions progress, we look forward to exploring synergies between initiatives such as the GIFE and other government programs to ensure cohesive coordination and maximized impact. I thank you all for the attention. Thank you.
And that is how we've overcome, we keep overcoming, and will overcome the challenges of SME financing, the role of regulation on the back of very robust and efficient regulation, which makes our banking sector liquid, stable, and profitable. The Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison. And since the Governor has spoken for everybody, I believe when it comes to your portion, which has been said, you just strike it out and then make your speech simple. All that we do today is in furtherance of our belief in the SME sector as the engine of growth. Ladies and gentlemen, here to speak on behalf of the Association of Ghana Industry is the President. Make welcome Dr. Humphrey Ayim Dake.
His Excellency, President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the Minister of Trade and Industry, Honorable K.T. Hammond, the Minister of Finance, Honorable Dr. Amin Anta, Ministers of State here present, Captains of Industries, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the National Council of the Association of Ghana Industries, I extend our deepest appreciation to the Ministry of Finance for organizing this summit and creating a forum for stakeholders to engage in strategizing for a robust SME ecosystem. SMEs, which account for 92% of existing businesses and 85% of manufacturing jobs, are not merely business entities. They embodied innovation, resilience, and community spirit. Their contribution to 70% of our GDP underscores their pivotal role as key economic agents driving development. Thus, the importance of this summit theme, breaking barriers for SME growth, cannot be overstated. Despite their critical role as SMEs, SMEs often face significant barriers, including limited access to markets, insufficient business development support services, bureaucratic regulatory hurdles. But to name a few of our pressing challenges, SMEs encounter the challenges of medium to long-term funding with competitive interest rates that are challenges to capital formation of most entities. Secondly, our capital formation are also impacted by the bi-weekly review of exchange rate at the port of entry via the Bank of Ghana policy on the forex management at the port of entry, which computes into the calculation of the forex for clearing of goods. This has significant impact on our cost. It has inflationary tendencies and has cascading effect on the debt of the economy. It's our prayer that the Bank of Ghana will review this said policy to a 90 days instead of 2 weeks every other week. Thirdly, traditional banking institutions frequently perceive SMEs as high-risk ventures, imposing stringent lending criteria that many small businesses struggle to meet. Therefore, we deeply appreciate the Ministry of Finance effort in facilitating the DBG's commitment of a 1.4 billion cedis through participating financial institutions to support the sector. The government's initiation of the SME Growth and Opportunity Program is a significant step towards addressing these needs. Over the years, AGI has partnered with government institutions such as the Ghana Enterprise Agency to provide technical and mentorship support to SMEs nationwide. As we navigate the complexity of modern markets and global competition, it becomes increasingly evident that we must consolidate our efforts and adopt more innovative approaches to promote the sector. The Association of Ghana Industries acknowledges that maximizing our impact requires a targeted effort towards specific growth-oriented industries, deliberately developing the value chain and supply chain. Through such initiatives, we can empower SMEs to thrive and drive transformative change within our value chains and serve as catalysts for further development through the multiply effect. Your Excellency, breaking barriers for SME growth is a shared responsibility. It necessitates the collective effort of entrepreneurs, policymakers, financial institutions, and the general community. As a business association, we remain steadfast in our efforts to promote a robust SME ecosystem. We therefore pledge our commitment to coordinate with government to harness the full benefits of this program. In the meantime, we urge the government to collaborate with the private sector to review tax policies that hinder SME growth. We must strive to simplify the tax regulatory framework, ensuring it is conducive to the unique needs of SMEs. Streamlining processes, reducing administrative burdens, and providing clear guidelines can significantly enhance the ease of doing business, allowing SMEs to focus on their competence and creating value and driving the economic growth. Let me take this opportunity to encourage SMEs to invest strategically in areas that prioritize sustainable, ethical business practices and contributing positively to the environmental and social aspects of the value chain. In conclusion, together, let us champion policies that support SME growth, advocate for a fair and enabling business environment, and invest in the future of our SMEs. By doing so, we will not only unlock the potential of SMEs, but also pave the way for more inclusive and prosperous economy. Thank you.
We're grateful to you, Dr. Humphrey Kwesi Ayim-Daker, the President of the AGI, and for your promise of collaboration and coordination to make this initiative a success. Today, we're joined by the President of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obeng. Please make him welcome with a round of applause. With this one, no strike. A round of applause. We're joined by a development partner who has been creating markets, creating opportunities in Ghana and beyond. Would you please make welcome the IFC Senior Country Manager, Mr. Kyle Kelhofer.
Thank you, and good morning. Your Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. Honorable Dr. Amin Abdim, Minister of Finance. Honorable K.T. Hammond, Minister of Trade and Industry. Honorable Minister of Housing, Opong Nkrumah. Other distinguished ministers, state ministers, deputy ministers, chief directors, presidents, as well as my good friend and development partner, colleague, the Vice President of the African Development Bank, Solomon Quainar. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of the media, all protocols observed. On behalf of the IFC, I'm absolutely delighted to be here today at this summit promoting an initiative key for local businesses in Ghana, particularly small and medium enterprises. In Ghana, where SMEs constitute a significant portion of the business community, the importance of this program simply cannot be overstated. And we at the International Finance Corporation, the IFC, put SMEs at the core of our mandate and are deeply invested in the growth and development of SMEs, as well as an enabling environment and investment climate infrastructure and business partnerships that enable SMEs to continue this crucial role of growth, progress, and sustainable job creation. And at IFC, we also like to walk the talk and show results. In the last decade, here in Ghana, we provided over $2.5 billion or local currency equivalent for the Ghanaian economy through investment sectors such as banking, infrastructure, agriculture, manufacturing, and services. This past year alone, as part of our IFC counter-cyclical mandate, and despite some of the challenges the governor alluded to, we IFC provided over $400 million or local currency equivalent. This is the largest in the past 10 years. And we're trying to show that Ghana, despite these challenges, is very much open for business. Over $120 million of this was devoted towards the financial sector for support for on-lending, incentivizing, growth, and support to SMEs, including some of you here in this room today. And in the coming year ahead, we expect larger targets, larger results, and larger growth in the SME sector. But our engagement in SMEs in Ghana, as well as globally, include a diverse range of initiatives, particularly in advisory services and technical assistance, equipping SMEs with the necessary tools for growth, expansion, and the ability to secure financing, as well as commercial partnerships. These services include guidance on adhering to relevant governance, financial standards, regulatory standards, E&S standards, and procedures that lay foundation for these businesses here today, as well as the future business leaders of Ghana tomorrow. IFC has launched various platforms for targeting SMEs, especially women-owned enterprises, because we've seen women entrepreneurs who have shown remarkable resilience and ingenuity in the face of challenges, and a proven ability to drive growth and create sustainable businesses, as well as support their families and contribute to the broader economy. The truth of the matter, though, is supporting the SMEs doesn't just mean we're supporting small businesses, but rather we're investing in the future large local corporates for Ghana. It's today's SMEs that are tomorrow's large-scale job creators, economic transformation, and leadership. Let me be very clear, this rings true in our IFC experiences globally, not just here in Ghana. From my own experience, as I spent the last 11 years in Asia before I had my Sankofa and returned to Ghana, I was managing IFC in Vietnam and Bangladesh. Did you know that Vietnam's largest rice seed company and largest fish seed company The sponsor, the owner, was simply a small SME 25 years ago, helping local corporates do business in Vietnam. Similarly, here in Ghana, I think of DTRT Apparel. It is nothing short of remarkable, which started out 20 years ago as just a small operation in Adabraka. And today it's transformed into West Africa's largest international standard apparel factory, employing over 7,000 workers and growing with 100% exports to overseas markets. Equally inspiring is the evolution of Ashesi University, which over 20 years ago, Patrick Awa was just renting a small house in Loboni, educating students, and today, according to the Financial Times, is now one of the top 10 universities in Africa and getting better. I could go on and on. The point is, Ghana has a proven track record of growing SMEs, and here today, we're trying to accelerate that achievement. But I also want to highlight the importance of an accessible and transparent business environment to quicken the pace in which SMEs can formalize, come in from the outside, cold, informal sector, and fully access the business sector benefits that a formal, well-run companies are entitled to. And to this end, IFC, in partnership with the government of Switzerland, and in active support of the Ministry of Finance, the Central Bank of Ghana, the Office of the Registrar of Companies, we're actively working to ease the process of business registration, to ease the enabling access to asset security, movable and immovable, to ease accessing to finance. And after building upon this track record of access to finance, leveraging that good track record through credit registries and proper funding credit registries to help those businesses grow and grow with cheaper financing. This is vital for sustainable growth. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't let me be mistaken though. The journeys of SMEs business is not easy. In IFC, we have a saying, if somebody says business is easy, they are either lying or they're not paying their taxes, okay? It is not easy, okay? Anywhere in the world, doing business has its challenges and unnecessarily challenges for local companies, for foreign companies, for all companies. But the starting point in resolution of any business challenges is dialogue, listening and being heard and being supported. And I'm delighted to see here today this SME initiative in partnership, in dialogue with the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Trade and Industry. This builds on ongoing dialogues with the government of Ghana and the business community, all aimed at improving the business climate for all. Today, this SME program, Growth and Opportunity Program, is launched, reflects a joint belief of the stakeholders in this room of the power of Ghanaian entrepreneurship to provide much needed support for the help to businesses flourish and expand and to compete here in Ghana and globally. And it sends a signal that Ghana is open for business and committed to fostering an improved environment where SMEs can thrive and become tomorrow's large transformational companies. In closing, on behalf of the IFC, I would like to commend the government of Ghana for this partnership and the launch of this SME initiative and fund with its development partners that will help a future prosperous and sustainable for all in Ghana. Thank you very much for your attention.
We're grateful to you, Mr. Kyle Kelhofer, IFC Senior Country Manager, for making that very important point that investing in SMEs isn't just about investing in small companies, but in big businesses who become the backbone of our economy. On that note of optimism, I'm glad to acknowledge a partner, the African Development Bank, who, for the next 10 years, have a strategy which rests on a foundation of optimism about Africa's potential to transform societies, economies, and the lives of people of the continent for a better and efficient and meaningful life. Here to speak to us about promoting partnerships to foster SME growth and development, please make welcome, speaking on behalf of the President, the Senior Vice President of the AFDB, Mr. Solomon Quino.
Your Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, Your Excellency, Ministers and Deputy Ministers, development finance institutions, CEOs of SMEs, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and also my Executive Director, Rufus Dakote, all protocols observed. Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, president of the African Development Bank Group, would have loved to be here, but due to some prior commitments, he was unable to make it. Africa's optimist-in-chief, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, has asked me to present on his behalf, and my name is Solomon Quaynor, and I'm the Vice President of, at the AFDB, responsible for private sector, infrastructure, and industrialization. It's a great honor to be back home as a native of the soil, to address you today and to take part in launching the SME Growth and Opportunity Summit. I extend my heartfelt thanks to His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for inviting AFDB to speak at this important gathering. We consider this summit to be a significant step towards deepening support of small and medium enterprises in Ghana. We are all here today as we recognize the importance and power of SMEs as the backbone of Africa's economy, typically constituting about 90% of all businesses on the continent and providing more than 50% of employment. So when you speak private sector in the context of Africa, you're speaking SMEs. They're essential for the growth of our GDPs, innovation, and job creation, especially for our youth and women. In Ghana, SMEs account for approximately 70% of industrial employment and 92% of existing businesses, making them pivotal to the nation's economic landscape. Yet, despite their critical importance, SMEs face numerous challenges, including inadequate business enabling environments, for example, regulatory environments, lack of access to appropriate and affordable finance, lack of access to markets, and limited access to quality business development services. The estimated financing gap for MSMEs across Africa is about $331 billion, and we at the African Development Bank are committed to addressing these challenges through comprehensive support for SMEs. Our approach encompasses both financial and non-financial initiatives to enhance the capacity and sustainability of SMEs. As past investments and initiatives have shown, while an entrepreneurial spirit and innovation are indispensable, effective technical assistance and advisory services and availability of financing are crucial. We also work with governments to create a supportive entrepreneurship ecosystem and business environment. Collaboration and partnerships are key to achieving our goals of better supporting SMEs. Through public-private partnerships, including public-private dialogue, so it was great to really hear the president of the Association of Ghana Industries articulate to government in this forum what the specific needs are. This sort of public-private dialogue is really essential to developing the SME space and the SME private sector in all countries. So we look at these various forms of public-private partnership. We also provide concessional funding when it's needed to be used as a de-risking mechanism, which we call the first loss mechanism with financial institutions, which are unlocking SMEs' potential and propelling African SMEs. The AFDB's private sector development strategy, which Jerry pointed out, outlines a cohesive platform for executing the bank's private sector agenda with a significant focus on SME development. We're known as the infrastructure bank, but it's very important to actually create this infrastructure to support SMEs to actually be competitive in producing products and services in their various markets. So this strategy integrates interventions across various sectors, including finance, governance, and industrialization to enhance SME access to finance and markets. The strategy emphasizes creating value chains, improving productivity, and facilitating market access. Our initiatives, such as providing technical assistance, enhancing digital financial inclusion, and supporting specialized agro-industrial zones are designed to address the unique challenges faced by SMEs in Africa. Please allow me to present some of the partnership programs we have that are focused on SMEs. First, the AFDB's Africa SME program provides lines of credit and technical assistance to financial institutions, enhancing their ability to serve SMEs. The program has supported approximately 1,500 SME loans and created 15,000 jobs, including 4,500 for women. This program has supported 2 banks in Ghana. Next, our Affirmative Finance Action for Women in Africa, AFAWA. This initiative aims to bridge the $42 billion financing gap for women entrepreneurs in Africa. Our program has facilitated about $1.7 billion in funding commitments, benefiting 7,200 women enterprises across 32 countries. We have capitalized the Africa Guarantee Fund, a Pan-African financial institution that provides partial guarantees and risk-sharing instruments, to actually be one of our key delivery mechanisms for the AFAWA program. And they also provide risk-sharing and partial guarantees in addition to capacity development to financial institutions to stimulate lending to SMEs across Africa. They are also present in Ghana. It was great to hear the governor of the Bank of Ghana talk about the regulatory sandbox. For us, as these fintech companies mature, we want them to be able to provide services beyond payments, and so we would be willing to support the banks providing local currency liquidity to these fintechs by also using our AAA guarantee to risk share as well. Through investments in private equity and venture capital funds, the AFDB has supported high-growth SMEs. Our private equity and venture capital fund portfolio is over 70 funds and commitments of over $1.5 billion, and we are the largest dedicated fund of funds in Africa. SMEs don't only need loans. In some cases, they need equity as well, and we can also look at quasi-equity instruments. Over the past 2 years, we have been rolling out the Youth Entrepreneurship Investment Banks, which aims to support youth entrepreneurs by providing both financial services and non-financial support, creating and anchoring a conducive ecosystem for youth entrepreneurship. We call it the YAPES. The YAPES will provide equity and quasi-equity funding, partial credit guarantees, and technical assistance to youth businesses. Our youth should not be ignored. They are also an investable asset class, especially in the tech and tech-enabled area, but we're beginning to see them go into ag tech, ed tech, health tech, and all of this is actually bringing great innovation into our SME space. We should support our youth, not in terms of dashes, we should support them really as an investable asset class. So overall, in 2023, AFDB's operations provided access to finance to over 440,000 enterprises across various sectors, with nearly 53% being women-owned, contributing significantly to economic growth, industrialization efforts, and job creation. I would be remiss if I did not provide a spotlight on our work of supporting the government of Ghana with the launch of the Development Bank of Ghana, which is a key national stakeholder in SME development. AFDB was one of the initial equity investors, and we continue to partner with DBG. We participate on the board, but we continue to partner with DBG in numerous ways in implementing its mandate on SME development in Ghana. You know DBG's results so far, so I do not need to expand on it, but Kade Yuka, who I saw earlier, is definitely a strong partner, and we work with him and his executive team. We're also exploring partnerships with the likes of Standard Chartered's market-based Solve, which the governor of the Bank of Ghana mentioned is currently in the regulatory sandbox. which is promoting a digital B2B marketplace for SMEs. We see potential, and we see the potential to even scale this beyond Ghana. We're also in discussions with the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. The Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, top pension funds such as Petrotrust and InfraCredit to establish a monoline guarantee agency to partially guarantee infrastructure and industrial bonds and structured notes to channel long-term local currency from pension funds, asset managers, and life insurance companies into the infrastructure and industrial sectors. But it doesn't have to stop there. If that's successful, we can actually replicate this for SMEs as well, especially if there's a need for long-term local currency liquidity. So looking ahead, we're committed to scaling our support for SMEs through the AFDB's newly developed SME department. This division will focus on developing innovative financing mechanisms and supporting SMEs with tailored advisory and technical assistance programs. Our goal is to position AFDB as the premier institution for SME financing and development in Africa, so not just the infrastructure bank, driving inclusive economic growth and sustainable development in partnership with regional member countries. But our partnership in SMEs, we can't do it all. Our partnership in SMEs also extends to like-minded international DFIs, and let me recognize my good friend Kyle Kellofer here from the IFC, because the IFC is anchoring what we call the Alliance for Entrepreneurship in Africa, and it has core, and the whole idea is to have all of us showcase our innovative models within this partnership group to get other partners to come in so we can scale up and deliver solutions to regional member countries. So, the core members of the Alliance, includes ourselves and IFC. IFC heads the Secretariat, but it also includes the French Treasury, PROPACO, EBRD, the European Development Finance Institutions, EIB. Associate members include the Africa Guarantee Fund, which I mentioned earlier, Badea, Equity Bank from East Africa, IFAD, Trade and Development Bank, of which Ghana is a member now, Boade, France Invest, FinDef, Canada. So partnerships are being built around to really support countries like Ghana as you go through your deepening of SME, of SMEs. Now for us, the target for SMEs should be not only to be annuity businesses, but also there should be some that will be high growth business. So African champions, we did some research on African champions. We define African champions as companies that have $1 billion worth of revenue and operate in at least 10 countries. Guess how many African champions we were able to find on the minimum side? 400. This is what SMEs should also aspire to. I also want to recognize that in Ghana, for example, the president has been very supportive of Prime Meridian dockyards. This is a good example of an SME that was running port services, but now has one of the biggest, ship repair yards or dockyards being built in Takoradi, and it's going to really serve the whole of Gulf of Guinea region. So for us, we call these the hidden champions. We want to identify the hidden champions and really work with you as you now become the African champions. And when you become the African champion, we don't want to just work with you to expand to new markets. And this is part of the reason we support the CFTA. We've provided about 16 million of grants to the CFTA. But we want to support the SMEs in your value chains as African champions, because SMEs will continue to be the bane of private sector in Africa. So in our tradition in Ghana, after you've had a chance to talk for a while, before you leave, you have to give a little gift. So my gift is that with the leadership of the President of Ghana, the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Trade, we at the AFDB are going to provide a $45 million grant for SMEs and digitalization next year. So on that note, thank you very much. We remain committed to supporting SMEs in Ghana. We'll partner with the likes of IFC and others, and we will make sure that we really support private sector in Ghana. Thank you. The Ghana Dance Ensemble, expressing gratitude on behalf of the good people of Ghana on effective and meaningful partnerships that foster SME growth and development, as shown by the Infrastructure Bank, the AFDB. Please help me celebrate one more time the AFDB and the Vice President, Mr. Solomon Queno. We thank you for that great gift that you've given to support our modest efforts. Please express our gratitude to the Optimist-in-Chief, the President, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina. Shortly, we get to hear from the President of our Republic, who will deliver the keynote and officially launch the fund. But before that, however, it's my pleasure to invite our two ministers whose collaborative efforts have birthed this great initiative. Make welcome Ghana's Minister for Trade and Industry, the Honorable K.T. Hammond, MP.
$45 million. Mrs. Kosi Aye Yankee, I didn't see you step forward to say thank you to this big man. President has said his congratulations already. Maybe it's still not too late. You better do that. Or maybe you wait after the speeches are over. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, My nephew is laughing at me. Minister of Finance, your deputy, and there's no deputy here, it's really the Minister of State, Abna, my favorite one, Kojo, is laughing. My own deputy, Kofi Befi, not sure about other ministers around. The governor of the Bank of Republic of Ghana, Central Bank. Let's take it again. The governor of the Central Bank of the Republic of Ghana. That is better. Dr. Ernest Addison, your deputy, Mrs. Elsie Ado Awozi. I thought you were the president. I now am aware that you are the vice president of the African Development Bank. Mr. Solomon Quero, the IFC senior country manager, Kyle Kelhofer. The president, he said to me this morning, he was born on a Wednesday, so we should be sure we give him a Ghanaian name. President of Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. Kwesi Ayi Dake. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, it's my privilege to welcome you to this function which seeks to celebrate SME growth and opportunity. On my assumption of office, Mr. President, as your Minister of Trade and Industry, it became apparent to me that one area of economic and industrial transformation agenda which needed further reflection and detailed focus was the SME sector. This policy reorientation was not informed so much by the historical attribution of the role of SMEs have played in the industrial and the economic revolutions of first world countries, by the desire for posterity to acknowledge the pivotal role this sector would have played in solidifying the foundation stones of the first-class economy that Ghana of their era would have been exhibiting to the rest of the world. We have worked very closely with the Ministry of Finance since, culminating, Mr. President, today in this summit. It's after all not a secret, but even if it is an open one, that all of today's first-class economies owe their genesis to the humble beginnings of the SME sector. America was not always like this. Britain, Japan, South Korea, Germany, and the currently fast-developing nation of China, name them all, started their economic and industrial lives on the tiny shoulders of the SMEs. Even now, Mr. President, the SME sector is the fulcrum of our industrial transition. It is the oxygen of your flagship program, 1D1F. It is the backbone of the economy, and its growth is aligned with the goals of the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. The prioritized aims of which are to ensure that the economy and the country becomes the fastest growing and most attractive hub for large corporations as well as their SMEs. President, this agenda is further emphasized by the creation of the regionally and globally competitive, cost-effective environment
to facilitate business setups and cooperation, as well as providing a world-leading, business-friendly, and sustainable environment. Mr. President, through strategic initiatives and programs, Ghana aims to enhance the contribution and the performance of the SME sector while forging a path towards further a future defined by innovation, growth, and opportunity. The SMC landscape is shaping up in Ghana. Out of the estimated 2.1 million businesses in the country, SMC sector, the SME sector, about 1.7 million, representing approximately about 81%, is classified in the micro enterprises category. Another 15% is categorized as small enterprises, and about 4% is expressed as medium enterprises. A notable portion of these enterprises operate within the informal sector, contributing significantly to employment and income generation. This sector is also crucial for women, the youth, and persons who are physically challenged, providing them with essential opportunities and sustaining their livelihoods. Mr. President, notwithstanding the unquestionable qualities of agility and skill, which of course enable these SMEs play a pivotal role in shaping the future of Ghana as a vibrant and indeed global business hub, it's a matter of considerable concern that in the current dynamic landscape of modern business, small and medium enterprises, as well, of course, as the micro enterprises, often find themselves grappling with a myriad of challenges which tend to stunt their growth. I had listed a few of these challenges, but these have already been laid bare by those who have already spoken. I do therefore not intend to labor on them. But Mr. President, ironically, the proper classification of the constituent part of this pivotal segment of the economy had become conflated, and definitions had come to be established as the whims and caprices of financial institutions and other regulatory authorities. The multiplicity of classification has led to inconsistencies in policy analysis and implementation. Happily, Mr. President, this conflation has recently been settled when Parliament, in pursuant to Section 32 of the Ghana Enterprises Agencies Act 2020, Act 1043, passed the Ghana Enterprises Agency classification of micro, small, and medium enterprises Regulation 2023 LI 2470, which now prescribes new thresholds for micro, small, and medium enterprises. This would help streamline policies, enhance access to resources, and create a more conducive environment for SMEs to grow. Mr. President, your government has not been oblivious to the challenges confronting the SMC sector as identified above. Your government has since 2017, through the instrumentality of the Ghana Enterprises Agency, cooperated with institutions and development partners such as the MasterCard Foundation, World Bank, AFET, AFDB, GIZ, Mandela's, Cocoa Life, and SNV provided some cushion for the sector. Recently, the GEA launched the Business in a Box project, which seeks to equip aspiring entrepreneurs with the requisite tools for their enterprises. Additional initiatives such as Youth-Star Jobs and Skills, the Cocoa Life Youth as Farm Services have provided targeted support to specific demographics. Mr. President, over 1.3 million businesses and potential entrepreneurs have benefited from business development services. Loans and grants totaling about 724 million cedis have been disbursed to about 332 businesses. The GEA has facilitated the establishment of over 56,000 new businesses, and more than 100,000 new jobs have been created in the SME sector from 2017 to 2023. From the modest number of 171 when your government assumed the reins of power, the GEA has expanded its business advisory centers and business resource centers to 224, which are all placed at the services of the SME sector. This achievement, Mr. President, of the GEA have been possible through the personal instrumentality again of its Chief Executive Officer, Mrs. Kosi Ayanke, to whom I now pay great tribute. Mr. President, today presents an opportunity to reflect on how policymakers, financial institutions, regulators, donor partners, think tanks, and other key stakeholders within the SME ecosystem can empower these enterprises to support the national economic development and to achieve a 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. As we continue to solidify the country's position as a leading hub for entrepreneurship and investment, my ministry would continue to place immense focus on maturing and nurturing the micro, small, and medium enterprises sector, recognizing the integral role they play in both society and economic expansion. SMEs go. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
The ever-passionate Honorable Katie Hammond is the Minister for Trade and Industry. Please, another round of applause. Thank you for those very warm and passionate words. Before we hear from the Minister for Finance, allow me to present to you, ladies and gentlemen, the SME Growth and Opportunity Program. Please lend your attention to the screen for an overview. Thank you.
One of the significant challenges we have identified is the difficulty SMEs face in accessing affordable financing. This is often due to maybe stringent collateral requirements and high interest rates. But additionally, many SMEs lack the necessary financial literacy, the management skills, and even the language to receive and then utilize the funds they receive effectively.
It's become a very hard slog for them to come by finances. So the banks don't seem to be paying them much attention. But it's not just financing, they face bureaucratic problems, they face administrative problems.
First and foremost is advisory assistance or technical assistance to help SMEs have the needed attributes to grow, to flourish, to create access to finance, partnerships, and the standards and procedures to help them become the next generation's corporates. We're proud to say that actually some of the SMEs we supported 10, 20 years today are now some of the larger corporates here in Ghana. Today, though, we're very active on advisory as improving access to finance. And part of that is formalizing, helping to become a formal business through the ORC, or helping to leverage what you have as a business, such as collateral registries on movable or immovable, or as you have developed that track record, how to access it through a credit registry. At the same time, we're actually trying to provide more market opportunities for SMEs, i.e. when we help a mine come in or the Jubilee oil field, there's a whole opportunity for linkages. Or from the export sector, when a large export supplier comes in, there's a whole opportunity for linkages to support those export suppliers.
After successfully negotiating our debts with our creditors and with macroeconomic stability returning to our economy, we now have an opportunity because the time is right for us to focus on growth. And this is why His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has decided that we must be intentional about growth. The history of the advanced economies, such as the United States of America, such as Japan, the United Kingdom, really cannot be complete without the role of SMEs. We have an example to follow. In countries like Korea, for example, Kia, which started as a small company, started with manufacturing bicycles, is today one of the largest car manufacturing companies in the world. The SME Growth and Opportunity Program, what we call SME Go, is a very important program at a critical juncture of our economy.
A decision was made to properly give it a solid legislative backing. And so we had the Ghana Enterprise Agencies Act of 2020, the statutory basis for the activities of this agency, which operates directly under our Ministry of Trade and Industry.
So DBG, together with the IFC, we're proposing to establish a special product known as MSME's Innovate and Grow Fund, in line with the Government of Ghana's SME Growth and Opportunity Program. This strategic initiative is aimed at addressing the funding constraints and limited innovations faced by MSMEs in Ghana. The MIG Fund will bridge this funding gap by providing tailored financial services, products, and will support MSMEs at various stages of their business life cycle.
If we look at the data on the contributions of SMEs in the Ghanaian economy, 92% of all registered companies are SMEs in Ghana. 85% of all manufacturing jobs are created by SMEs, and 70% of our GDP coming from SMEs. And therefore, there is no serious country that can grow its economy without a focus on SMEs, especially if your economy is characterized by the numbers I provided in terms of the jobs SMEs create and their contribution to GDP.
Our future plans for DBG involve scaling up our operations to reach more MSMEs across various sectors, especially pharmaceuticals, textiles, and apparel subsectors. We're going to introduce more innovative financial products tailored to the needs of our clients. We plan to enhance our digital infrastructure to improve accessibility and efficiency.
But if we can come together in the same room, put the issues on the table and air them out and discuss, we can leave the room with solutions that can create more opportunities, more jobs, and more potential for the people of Ghana.
I would invite all and sundry to play their role, even if it is a widow's mite, towards helping these SMEs to find their rightful role in the economic development of Ghana. SME, go!
Here are some key pointers for the SME Growth and Opportunity Plan. Small and medium-sized enterprises play a crucial role in Ghana's economy. SMEs are not merely a segment of the economy, they are its backbone, driving growth, innovation, and employment. With its growing importance in the economy, it's important to support the growth strategy of the sector. With the introduction of the SME Growth and Opportunity Program, government is set to further strengthen the SME ecosystem, paving the way for sustained economic growth and prosperity. The SME Go program is structured across critical guidelines, such as A, targeting support to high-growth sectors and companies, and B, relying on technology and established processes across implementing agencies to ensure robust monitoring and continuity. The SME program is being implemented in collaboration with the Ghana Enterprises Agency, Ghana Export-Import Bank, Development Bank Ghana, and the International Finance Corporation. These partners offer deep expertise in SME financing and revitalization and have been heavily involved in supporting high growth potential SMEs over the years. The Ghana Enterprises Agency will offer small-scale grants and loans of up to 2 years at highly subsidized rates to cover working capital and asset financing needs of SMEs. The Ghana Export-Import Bank will target medium-sized enterprises and provide them with highly subsidized loans of up to 20 million cedis. It will also work with the One District, One Factory Secretariat to build synergies and support pipeline projects. Development Bank Ghana, in collaboration with International Finance Corporation, will deploy support through financial institutions using DBG's newly created MSME Innovate and Grow Fund, MIG Fund. The support will be in the form of general purpose loans, equity placements, partial credit guarantees, and grants. In addition to the financing support, the program will also build the operational capacities of SMEs to improve their operational efficiency. We therefore call on all stakeholders within the SME space to take advantage of this important program as we seek to support businesses, transform lives, and revitalize the economy. SME Growth and Opportunity Program, breaking barriers to SMEs growth.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. My colleague, Honorable Minister for Trade and Industry, the Honorable K.T. Hammond, Honorable Minister for Works and Housing, the Honorable Kojo Nkrumah, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to address you this morning on the occasion of the launch of the SME Growth and Opportunity Program, dubbed SME Go. I extend my deepest gratitude to His Excellency, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for his visionary leadership that guided the birthing of this new initiative, which has the potential to deepen our economic transformation agenda. Even in the last year of his term, he continues to hold the mandate of the Ghanaian people very serious, working hard in creating jobs, supporting businesses, and leading our economic recovery efforts. Let me also thank Mr. Solomon Kweno, representative of His Excellency, Dr. Adeshina, President of the African Development Bank, for his presence and support. I'm so happy, ladies and gentlemen, because this morning alone, we heard from the IFC announce the commitment of $400 million to this program. And we also heard from the African Development Bank another support of $45 million United States dollars. This is testament, ladies and gentlemen, to the confidence in the Ghanaian economy. So we've gathered here today as champions of a shared vision to create an enabling environment for our micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises to thrive. Our SMEs are the lifeblood of our economy, and it is our collective responsibility to ensure their success.
The data is clear, ladies and gentlemen. Supporting SMEs is crucial to achieving our growth and development ambitions. We must be intentional about providing access to financial resources, expertise, and capacity building programs that empower them to drive innovation, create jobs, and stimulate economic growth. Ghana's growth model must evolve beyond relying heavily on foreign direct investment and raw material exports, which can be very volatile and could expose us to external shocks. Instead, we must harness the potential of our own homegrown SMEs to build a prosperous, dynamic, and competitive economy. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we embark on a new chapter in our journey towards economic transformation. We've overcome challenges in the past, and our recent achievements in macroeconomic stability, robust growth, lower inflation, and stronger public finances demonstrate our resilience and determination. Through the SME goal, we will bind the public and private sectors together to create a better ecosystem for our SMEs. Our implementing partners, Ghana Enterprise Agency, Ghana Exim Bank, Development Bank Ghana, and IFC, possess the expertise and capacity to deliver results swiftly. We have consulted with stakeholders, including the Association of Ghana Industry and civil society, to design selection criteria and financing instruments tailored to meet the needs of high-growth potential SMEs. Additionally, we recognize that financial support alone is insufficient, which is why the program includes comprehensive capacity building programs to upskill both beneficiaries and the wider business landscape. This is particularly important because it seeks to address the risk of lending to SMEs by commercial banks who continue to be worried about low loan recoveries. Our vision, ladies and gentlemen, is to create a platform for SMEs and raise SME champions to generate impact that resonates through our communities, leaving a legacy of empowerment, innovation, and prosperity for generations to come. This ambitious program marks a big step toward strengthening the entire SME ecosystem in the medium term. And I firmly believe that this initiative will unlock the full potential of Ghanaian SMEs, creating a new wave of entrepreneurs and business leaders who will drive our economy forward. Indeed, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, this program is the largest SME financing initiative in the history of our country and perhaps in Africa. Mr. President, I read only last week about your brother, the President of Nigeria, launching an SME program in Nigeria. And despite the huge size of Nigeria, the amount committed is far lower than what you have mobilized under this program. And therefore, we must acknowledge the contributions made by our partners towards this program: Development Bank Ghana, International Finance Corporation, Ghana Enterprise Agency, and Ghana Exim Bank for your support. I would like to also commend the technical team in the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Trade and Industry, who worked tirelessly with my colleague, the Honorable K.T. Hammond, and I over the last 3 months, from the conception of this initiative to its launch today. I salute you, our technical people, for the yeoman job that you have done. Ladies and gentlemen, let me end by reminding you that a number of SMEs have exhibited their products outside here. And I want to encourage you to visit them after His Excellency the President has opened the exhibition, so you can see a little of Ghanaian entrepreneurship and industry. I want to thank you all for your attention, and may the Almighty God bless our country. Thank you.
The Honorable Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, Minister for Finance. Please, one more time, let's appreciate his bold efforts. What does it take to champion SME businesses in Ghana? For the next few minutes, please help me receive an appellation to a champion of SME businesses. Ghana Dance Ensemble. And so to you, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, a champion of SME businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic.
Minister for Finance, a Member of Parliament for Karaga, the Minister for Trade and Industry, a Member of Parliament for Adansia Sukwa, the Minister for Works and Housing, a Member of Parliament for Ofuasi Ayerebi, the Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance, a Member of Parliament for Atiwao East, Deputy Ministers of State, the Governor of the Bank of Ghana and his deputy, the second Deputy Governor, the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority and her deputy, the IFC Senior Country Manager, Vice President of the Africa Development Bank, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Chief Executive, the Board Chair and Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Export-Import Bank, Chief Executive Officer of the Development Bank Ghana, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Enterprises Agency, President of the Association of Ghana Industries, the Chief Director of the Ministry of Finance, members of the Diplomatic Corps, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. I'm grateful for the opportunity to address the SME Growth and Opportunity Summit, which is being held on the theme, Breaking Barriers to SME Growth. It captures the essence of our mission, which is to empower our small and medium enterprises to thrive and drive our nation's economic prosperity. SMEs are the backbone of Ghana's economy, contributing greatly to job creation, innovation, and economic diversification. Today, we gather to celebrate their achievements, acknowledge their challenges, and chart a path forward for their sustainable growth. Ladies and gentlemen, over the years, SMEs in Ghana have demonstrated remarkable resilience and growth. From agribusinesses in the northern regions to tech startups in Accra, SMEs have been instrumental in transforming our economic landscape. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, as you have heard, SMEs constitute some 92% of businesses in Ghana and contribute some 70% to the country's GDP. This impressive contribution is a testament to the entrepreneurial spirit of Ghanaians. For instance, consider the story of Casapreco Company Limited, a homegrown beverage company that started as a small business, has now become a household name, not only in Ghana, but across the African continent. Casapreco's journey from a small business domestic producer to an African multinational company with an international brand showcases the potential of Ghanaian SMEs to compete on the global stage. Similarly, the rise of tech hubs, such as the Meltwater Entrepreneurial School of Technology, has provided a platform for numerous tech startups to flourish. These tech hubs have nurtured innovative solutions in various sectors, from agriculture to healthcare, attracting global attention and investment. Companies like AgroCenter, a digital platform that connects smallholder farmers to larger markets, demonstrate the transformative impact of technology-driven SMEs. Another example is Blue Skies Holdings Limited, an agribusiness that processes and exports fresh-cut fruit products. Starting with a small facility in Nsawam, Blue Skies has expanded its operations to multiple countries, maintaining its commitment to sourcing produce locally and creating jobs for thousands of Ghanaians. These success stories illustrate the vast potential and impact of our SMEs across diverse industries. Despite these successes, SMEs in Ghana continue to face significant challenges that hinder their potential. Access to finance remains one of the most critical barriers. Many SMEs struggle to secure funding due to higher interest rates, stringent collateral requirements, and limited access to formal banking services. This financial gap stifles innovation and restricts expansion. The World Bank's Enterprise Survey indicates that only a small percentage of SMEs in Ghana can access bank loans or lines of credit, a situation that must be urgently tackled. Inadequate infrastructure, unstable electricity, poor road networks, and regulatory and bureaucratic hurdles, which complicate further the business environment, make it difficult for SMEs to comply with legal requirements and access necessary support services. Additionally, limited access to markets, both domestically and globally, poses a considerable challenge. Many SMEs lack the resources and knowledge to penetrate new markets and compete on a global scale. This situation is exacerbated by a lack of skilled labor and insufficient capacity building programs to enhance entrepreneurial skills. The absence of a well-developed supply chain and distribution network also limits the market reach of SMEs. These are challenges that must be overcome if we are to unlock the full potential of our SMEs. We must adopt a multifaceted approach that involves government, the private sector, and international partners. One of such initiatives is the Growth and Opportunity Program being spearheaded by the Akufo-Addo government. Ladies and gentlemen, before I shed more light on the Growth and Opportunity Program, I'd like to ask us to cast our minds back to 7th January 2021, the day I delivered my inaugural speech at the start of my second term of office. As I stood on the floor of Parliament, accepting the enormous responsibility placed on me by millions of my fellow Ghanaians, I stressed that, and I quote, "The sheer can-do spirit of Ghanaians, which I have witnessed all my life, will be the bedrock on which we build the Ghana of our dreams," unquote. I emphasized that one of my foremost priorities in my second term in office would be to establish a strong economy that would generate jobs for our people, unquote. 3 years on, despite the disruption to the global economy caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian invasion of Ukraine, I'm proud of the progress that we have made. It certainly has not been easy. However, guided by a sense of urgency and the support of our international partners, government has implemented several far-reaching policy measures under the Post-COVID Plan for Economic Growth, the PCPEG, to address some long-standing structural weaknesses in our economy. Today, the Minister for Finance and the Governor of the Bank of Ghana have testified that we are back firmly on the path toward macroeconomic stability and sustained growth. We're certainly moving in the right direction. However, we must also recognize that there's still a lot of work to be done. To this end, ladies and gentlemen, government has set its sights on creating a viable SME ecosystem that ensures businesses with high growth potential are given the technical capacity and financing support to scale up and create impact rapidly across their communities. Consistent with our belief that Ghana's long-term competitiveness must be anchored on our SMEs being competitive, innovative, and capable of expanding into the broader African and global markets, we launched pragmatic programs such as A, the Ghana Incentive-Based Risk-Sharing System for Agricultural Lending, GIRSL, which provides credit risk guarantees to financial institutions that foster the growth of our agro-businesses. B, the establishment of the Development Bank Ghana to make long-term funding available to the private sector. C, the establishment of the Ghana Commodity Exchange to create efficient linkages between agricultural and commodity producers and buyers. D, other key initiatives such as the One District, One Factory program, the establishment of the Ghana Enterprises Agency, GEA, and the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, NEIP, to ensure that we move closer to having a truly enabling environment for our businesses to flourish. Today, we take another step forward. Government, through the Ministries of Finance and Trade and Industry, has developed the SME Growth and Opportunity Program to offer targeted financial solutions and technical assistance programs to support better small to medium-sized firms with strong potential for business expansion and job creation. The Akufo-Addo government is being intentional about this particular business segment because we have observed that traditionally, most financing models cater to micro and large enterprises, thereby leaving out a missing middle, i.e. firms who are too large to benefit from small business finance and yet too small to attract substantial and affordable commercial lending or investment to scale up their operations. This challenge results in scenarios where a typical manufacturing business cannot expand as it is saddled with the arduous task of repaying an entire loan in a year, just as its new factory is coming online. Or indeed, a situation where an experienced company in the hospitality sector could not obtain flexible funding options to match the seasonal nature of its cash flows. These stories reflect the real experiences of some SMEs in our country. Consequently, the Growth and Opportunity Program prioritizes targeted interventions that support government's goal of creating SME champions that can take Ghanaian products and innovations global. The program will be coordinated jointly by the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Trade and Industry. The Ghana Enterprises Agency, GEA, the Ghana Exim Bank, and the Development Bank Ghana, DBG, will be the principal implementing agencies for this program and hopefully work without too many bureaucratic entanglements. These institutions will offer support to program beneficiaries directly and indirectly through participating financial institutions. Ghana Exim Bank will be supported with some 700 million cedis to offer SMEs highly subsidized financial support for both capital and operating expenditures and offer capacity building to program beneficiaries. A dedicated window for the 1D1F initiative is also to be set up to ensure optimal synergies within the structural project. GEA, on the other hand, will be supported with some 230 million cedis and will target high-growth SMEs employing 100 persons or more with small-scale grants and loans of up to 2 years at highly subsidized rates. This is in addition to all the money that has been promised to you today, Madam Kosiyanke. Finally, DBG will contribute to the initiative through its newly created MSME Innovate and Grow Fund. Through financial institutions, it will provide loans of up to 5 years for SMEs with tailored repayment conditions to support businesses. The loan amount will be decided on a case-by-case basis out of an envelope of 1.4 billion cedis. The Ministry of Finance has successfully mobilized a total of 8.2 billion cedis from both public and private sector sources, earmarked for disbursement to eligible small and medium-sized enterprises under the SME Go program. As part of the Growth and Opportunity Program, for instance, Ghana Exim Bank will set up a novel food innovation hub within the next 3 months to support all SMEs in the food industry with testing and scaling up production in a standard food processing pilots plant. The food processing plant pilot plant will be located on the University of Ghana campus and will incorporate installed processing equipment, warehousing space, a testing lab, and a suite for SMEs to interact with relevant regulatory authorities directly. The plant will provide essentially a vital resource for food companies that are just starting up, who do not have sufficient funding to purchase equipment, or for SMEs that need to evaluate new processes and product lines. Through this intervention, government will make the food processing process more readily available, as this capacity building initiative will ensure that any SME may not have sufficient capital and technical capacity can pay a one-time fee at the pilot plant to access modern and sophisticated processing equipment that allows the SME to produce at scale while being supported by food scientists and other specialists. Exim Bank officials will also be on hand to offer support with packaging and branding and generally meet relevant standards for beneficiaries of the plant to have their products ready for export. GEA and DBG will also support program beneficiaries with targeted training encompassing financial management, regulatory compliance, digitalization in business, business plan development, and many other topics. An online application portal has been developed by our technology partners, who will ensure that the screening process is fair and transparent and prioritizes SMEs that can demonstrate robust growth prospects. Indeed, after today's event, all interested SMEs can visit the GEA and Ghana Exim websites and be directed to the portal to apply for program support. I believe that with this program, we can lay the foundations for a stronger economy underpinned by strong Ghanaian enterprises, creating jobs and delivering opportunity for our people. Ultimately, Ghana views the Growth and Opportunity Program as an important step towards building a future economy shaped by enterprise and innovation, where our people can witness their ideas become reality and our entrepreneurs build businesses that will eventually create jobs in our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, the growth and development of our SMEs are vital to the economic future of Ghana. By breaking the barriers that hinder their progress, we can unleash their full potential and drive inclusive and sustainable growth. Government, private sector, and all stakeholders have to work together to create an enabling environment that supports innovation, entrepreneurship, and resilience. Let us celebrate the achievements of our SMEs and commit to addressing the challenges they face. Together, we can build a vibrant SME sector that not only contributes to our economic prosperity, but also uplifts the lives of all Ghanaians. That has to be the scale of our ambitions. Accordingly, it is my singular honor and pleasure to declare formally the SME Growth and Opportunity Program duly launched. May God bless the SME Growth and Opportunity Program and us all. And may God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of our Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Mr. President, if it pleases you, I would like to invite to join you upstage as we make some presentations to awarding beneficiaries, the Minister for Finance, together with the Minister for Trade, and the Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance. A round of applause as they come. Please be seated. Honorable Minister, would it be okay if Madam Abena is in the middle so that the President is okay? Mr. President, I'm delighted to present 5 companies that form the pilot beneficiaries for the GO program. These pioneering enterprises, chosen for their innovative approaches and strong growth potential, embody the highest standards of entrepreneurial spirit and commitment to progress. In line with the objective of the SME Go program, the Ghana Enterprises Agency and the Ghana Exim Bank will provide these companies with financial support and closely monitor their progress. Mr. President, may I present them to you now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please make welcome the following as they receive the dummies. Okay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the rice processing sector, Tiovana Limited. And they receive a check of 1 million Ghana cedis. Giovanna, I ask that you please take your place here, Madam. we receive from the honey production sector, Tila Limited. Please join me here. From the shea nut sector, ladies and gentlemen, Abubakari Mahama Company Limited. Congratulations. From fish processing and packaging. From fish processing and packaging, Pine, and Hopkins. And from liquor production, Sahara Liquor. AA Food and Beverages Limited. And these are the beneficiaries from the Ghana Exim Bank project. Please, a round of applause for them. Beneficiaries, I ask that you now please come by the president and the official party with your dummy checks, and let's take one big photo together. A round of applause for the beneficiaries. Mr. President, if it pleases you, would like to take 3 symbolic photographs. Beneficiaries, thank you. You may please take your seats. A round of applause for the beneficiaries. I shall now invite all ministers and deputies to please come up. Together with our partners, IFC, Exim Bank, DBG, GEA, and then the Vice President of the AFDB, together with the Governor of the Bank of Ghana. And since it's all in the interest of private sector, the President of the AGI. The last photo will be with the President of the Republic, the Ministers of Finance and Trade, together with the Steering Committee and Planning Committee. Thank you, partners. Let's have the Steering Committee and the Planning Committee. And so in 3, 2, 1, we all say SME go. In 3, 2, 1. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. And so shortly, the President of the Republic, together with the official party, will take leave of us. We'll move over to the exhibition area to duly open it. Many exhibitors are available together with their wares. We entreat all of you to please go after the official party. But for now, please be seated. Please be seated briefly. And now, Mr. President, honorable ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to give to you the new identity of this great initiative. We're going to count from 10 down. Let's go. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And this is how we break barriers to SME growth with a focus on developing sustainable financing framework that allows for both the private and the public sectors to scale up financial and technical support towards Ghana's small, medium, and micro enterprises as the backbone of our economy, solving the twin problems of unemployment and poverty as we build a future characterized by innovation and enterprise. Help me say a big thank you to the President of our Republic, a champion of SME enterprises. To you, Mr. President, we say thank you, and to your faithful stewards, the Minister for Finance and the Minister for Trade, we thank you for your collaboration that has birthed this vision. To the Planning Committee and every stakeholder, we want to thank you ever so much. This is a journey, this is just the beginning, but I know that we shall look back and say it was during the tenure of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo that we set in motion a resilient SME sector for the good of Ghana. To this end, may God bless you, Mr. President. May God bless us all in our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. Let's rise for the national anthem. Happily, Mr. President, I invite you to the exhibition area to duly launch it for us. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall all remain in our seats as the official party take leave of us. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that we please make room for the President of the Republic and his entourage to access the exhibition area first. We shall all be led in sections. Thank you very much for your cooperation.